have an understanding of the difference between fixed, variable, and mixed costs, we're going to talk about two different methods that we can use to calculate our total costs when we don't have a concrete understanding of how much of our total cost is fixed versus variable. These two methods are going to be referred to as the high-low method and the regression analysis method. The high-low method is looking at different levels of activity. So you're going to have the number of units and the total cost. The total cost is going to be made up of both fixed and variable costs. So in order to, using these two levels of activity, we're able to compute the variable costs, the fixed costs, and then the total cost at any given level of production. When you are given various data points, you're going to pick the highest activity level and the lowest activity level. From there, you're going to take the change. The difference between the highest cost and the lowest cost, in this case, is $4,000, and the difference between the highest number of units and the lowest number of units is the total change. You'll hear me often say that the word per means divide by. So if I'm trying to calculate the variable cost, I'm trying to find out the cost per unit. So I'm going to take the difference between the cost divided by the difference between the units, which gives me a variable cost of 80 cents per unit. Later on, I'm going to graphically show you how our total cost is made up of our fixed costs plus your variable costs per unit times the number of units. Rearranging that formula, we can see that our fixed cost is equal to the total cost minus the variable cost. This gives us our total cost. You could pick either the highest or the lowest. In this case, we're looking at the highest level of cost. So $9,700 minus 80 cents times the 10,000 units gives us a fixed cost of $1,700. Now you're able to calculate the total cost at any given level of production. Our total cost is going to be equal to a fixed cost of $1,700 plus 80 cents times a number of units. The regression model performs the same analysis, except it looks at every single data point, not just two data points. Therefore, it's more accurate. The goal of this method is to fit a straight line to the data that minimizes the sum of the squared errors. So what does this mean? Whoops, not sure what just happened. Sorry about that. So basically, we're going to be using software to solve for the best fit line. So what does that actually mean? So the behavior between our costs can be shown graphically. The y-axis represents the total cost, and the x-axis represents the level of activity. Here we know that the fixed cost is 10. Okay? That means that no matter if we produce 0 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's always going to be 10 is the lowest amount of cost that it'll cost us. Then our variable costs increase as the number of units increase. But because we have mixed costs, we have scattered points. The regression model helps us identify the best fit line. And it looks at the formula of y equals a plus bx. You might remember from algebra the formula for a straight line. Y in this case represents total cost, a represents fixed cost, b represents variable cost, and x represents the number of units. Okay? In the next video, I'm going to show you how to perform a high-low method problem as well as a regression analysis problem.